like Truex. Truex has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Just a hard racer, loves the sport.
Good
big
staple.
outdoorsman. Drives the Bass Pro car. They take a lot of my money.
Yeah. What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here, Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another episode of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Man, I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday out there. Getting right into it, man, way we like to start it out is what we call the word of the day. So I have no idea what it's going to be, but hey, if you're an adult, play along, take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I always love to say age appropriate. If you're under 21, man, get that sweet tea, that Kool-Aid, that Red Bull, stay up late.
Come on, man.
You know, it's Wednesday, man. You got a couple days of school left. You'll be all right. So last week's word, let's see, was penalty, which, you know, we probably talked about that with Austin Dillon quite a few times, man. Probably had a good buzz. But this week's word is going to be, I have no idea, y'all. But when I say it, make sure you play along. So getting right into it, NASCAR news, man. Thoughts and prayers go out there, man. We lost a racing legend, old Black Sunshine with Scott Bloomquist, man. I tell you what, the dude was just amazing. Awesome talent there. So quick healing out there and thinking about their family and friends. And prayers are with you from Rubbin' and Grubbin' family, man, for sure. So Tyler Reddick comes home victorious right there at Michigan Speedway, man. And I tell you what, he did a damn good job there on those last couple of restarts, man. He had the business going on, doing his thing. Toyota's fast. I said it last week. I talked about it. Toyota, home of 4, but Toyota's fast there, man. And found a way to come out with that lead there. So good run for that 45 team. You know, there again, if you go back and look over the last few weeks and really since the first part of June, Iowa, which we'll talk about, but he's been on fire, man. He's been on fire. So hats off to the Hamburglar, Tyler Reddick out there, absolutely killing it, man. So hate to say it, man, but I tell you what, we all knew it was coming. Stewart-Haas Racing Facility shut down for good. Affects a lot of jobs there, 300 plus jobs, man. So again, thinking about all those guys out there that put in work at a great championship, you know, team and organization there at Stewart-Haas. Hopefully they continue to build. Hopefully a lot of these people find a fit in another organization or somewhere in the sport and continue to strive, man. So really thinking about them. Hated on both ends. One, for the families themselves, but two, also for Stewart-Haas fans, man. That's a big hit there. So you haven't yet, go out, like, share, follow, all that social media, man. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, but most importantly, Facebook as well. But most importantly, man, go out, follow that YouTube channel. Lawrence does a great job posting. I have nothing to do with it, man. I come up here on Wednesdays and after a day at work and drink a little cold beer and talk NASCAR. But Lawrence is the magic behind the camera that puts it all on, man. So make sure you go out, like, share, follow, subscribe. You guys know we still got a couple giveaways. We're getting ready to get into giving away that Kyle Busch shirt that I have. We're going to give that away next week. So if you want to win it, I'm going to tell you how to win it tonight. Ryan Blaney, helmet still up for grabs as well. Make sure you're like, share, following all that. Hashtag YRB if you want to come up and have a chance at the helmet. Subscribe, like, share, follow. Get your grandmama on it, man. Like I said, if you got a NASCAR fan, if you got a racing fan in the family, make it subscribe to Rubbin' and Grubbin', man. That's what it's all about. Getting into it, man. Hey, I like this idea right here. NBC is getting ready to try out non-stop, you know, action from the race. So as long as we have green flag action on the racetrack, NBC is not going to cut to commercial. They're going to split screen it or whatever they're going to do. They're implementing that coming up at Daytona this week, Atlanta, and Talladega. So all three, I guess you can call them restrictor plate tracks. I mean, Atlanta's its own entity, but two other, you know, super speedways. I guess Atlanta qualifies as a super speedway now, however you want to look at it. But gonna be neat to see, man. Hopefully they do a good job broadcasting. I'll tell you what, last week at Michigan did a really good job. I like that. We'll see how they continue to grow the sport through our TV broadcast deals, man. But be on the lookout. Like I said, split screen format for 3 races coming up USA NBC, man. Well, it didn't take long, man. We got a new home for the Clash. So we're leaving LA and we're headed back out here, out east, man. We are going to Bowman Gray Stadium 2025 for that the Busch Clash. Going to be great. I think it's going to be awesome. Again, I think it brings NASCAR back into a section of the country that we were there for a long time. And yes, there's a lot of other racetracks around there, but maybe somebody are like, hey, right down the road and can't get there, you're going to get there. Be the first Cup Series, whether it be an exhibition or a point-paying race, since the 70s, man. So good shout out there. I like it. I like the move. And hopefully, we continue to move in that same direction and keep moving forward, and kind of a good fine mix of what we need to do with the next-gen car and keeping it true to where we originated as a sport. That's what I always say, man. So we'll see what happens from there on out. So that'll do it for the news, man. We're getting into that checkered flag for charity. If you guys are new to tuning in, the way we like to do it on Rubbin' Grubbin', whatever car number wins that race, we donate into the checkered flag for charity. $45 going in right there. That brings the yearly total for this thing almost $1,600. We're right there at $1,600, man. What the hell? I'll cuss a few times and shit, and we'll get a few more dollars in there. We're like $4 out of being at $1,600 on this event. Pretty good little deal, man. But again, like I said, if you come up to coaches quite often, you want to donate into that checkered flag for charity. Ask your waiter, waitress, bartender, John and Adele, whoever you see, man, donate in. They'll make sure it goes to the right place. Lauren's got some stuff going on coming up this weekend. Won't have a cooler full of joy, but here throughout this fall, we're going to have some cool stuff to give away. So make sure you're staying tuned with Rubbin' and Grubbin', and as well as following Coach's Corners page. They're keeping you up to date, man. Big events in the Sound Garden, charitable events they have going on throughout the fall. It's going to be an amazing thing, man. Let's wrap it up. Let's show up and show out, man. So getting ready to get into that who's hot and who's not, but before we do, got to give a big shout out there to my main man, Parker Eccles, owner-operator over there at Arbor Man Tree Service, the best tree service here in Savannah area, man. Doesn't matter what it is, full tree removal, stump grinding, some limbs cut back. If you need an estimate, make sure you give Parker a call over there at Arbor Man. You're going to see that number scrolling all night long on that screen. As I always like to say, no job too big, too small. Give Parker a call, man. I love you, brother. Ready to see you in Atlanta, man. We got a couple weeks, man. We're there. So getting into the who's hot, man. And Tyler Reddick got to take the #1 spot, man. I tell you what, I kind of slept on him. I put him in there over the past couple weeks, but kind of slept on him, man. Had a really good streak going since Iowa. He hadn't finished outside the top 10, majority in the top 3 and top 5. So really hot, goes out, gets that win there this past weekend at Michigan. Daytona as well, coming into Darlington. I mean, hey, man, that 45 team is getting hot. So you better watch out. If they keep it rolling, it's going to be a team to reckon with. I think there's a couple of tracks that we go to coming up that really suit his driving style, Darlington being one of them. There's a couple other ones out there. So be on the lookout, man. Tyler Reddick getting the job done and handling business, man. So second on that hot list for me has got to be Denny Hamlin. Look, y'all know he's not my cup of tea, but he speaks the truth. Again, doing 11 type things, man. Had a spin out early in that Michigan race, found a way to come back. I think he finished 8th there at Michigan. Really good run. I mean, found a way to capitalize and get a good finish at least. At the end of the day, I think that's all you can ask from a guy coming in and spinning out and coming back and fighting back on that car. So good team, shows a lot of heart. Now, is this the year the 11 goes out and wins it? I've said no all year. I'm still thinking no, but at the end of the day, he could. And if he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong, and hats off to him. But we'll see, man. So 3 for me is going to be the playoffs this week, man. I got Young Money in there too. Big hats off to him as always. But 3 for me is going to be the playoffs. Look, this point system that we have and how we went down, I'll tell you what, this is a very, very tight point battle, man. I mean, we were getting into it. 1 point separates there, that playoff bubble. What we're looking at, Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain, all those guys involved. But also the regular season champion right there with Chase Elliott and Tyler Reddick now battling out Kyle Larson. We're coming down, man, and we got Daytona. It's a wild card. We don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. We end up at Darlington where you can control a little bit of it. But at the end of the day, you don't want to go to Daytona and put yourself in a position to have to do it at Darlington, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I'm loving it. Playoff battle's great, man. Keep it up. So getting into that who's not, man. I didn't get to talk about it last week because we did the show on Monday, but the ruling on Austin Dillon, I mean, I get it. NASCAR had to regulate itself. I mean, it put itself in that position with the winning you're in. He did what he had to do. I'm old school. I don't necessarily agree with it. Do I think it's a move that you make if you don't have to win to get in? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think if we're in the old point system and grinding out every week and we're adding it up and we go, hey, if we finish 5th here, we run good, or a 2nd place finish puts us there, we're in good shape. We never know, right? Obviously, with this team, kind of a dismal season, came down to it. Man, look, NASCAR's on the cold list for that with me. I'll put it there. That's on me, but got to give it to them there a little bit. But they drew the line. They found it. I think they found the invisible line. It has become visible. Denny talked about it. Rules are in the rule book, but where the line falls doesn't. I think NASCAR has now put itself in a tighter corner with the rules. So we'll see what they do, but that's where I'm at on it, man. So I hate to do it to him, but John Hunter Nemechek on the cold list, man. I tell you what, the Legacy Motorsports Club has just been slacking this year. I really expected a good year out of them. 42 had a horrible run there at Michigan. Maybe they'll bounce back at Daytona here and have a good run, kind of change it around. But right now, got to put John Hunter on the cold list. And how he didn't get the JGR ride, or at least a look at the JGR ride, I have no idea. Because I'm telling you what, the kid's got talent, and we know he can win. So we'll see what happens, man. But hopefully they get it turned around for sure, man. NASCAR makes the cold list twice, and I'm going to say it. Selection on the cautions, man. Kind of the cautions when and if they want to call it, when they don't. We'll talk about it more a little bit further down in the show. But I got a special treat for everybody coming up, man. I'm blessed enough, I tell you what. You've seen the guy on the show a couple times, man. Zach Case comes up, does his work in the truck series and the Xfinity series there. Jack, man, just a great down-to-earth guy. He's from the local area. Well, lives in the local area, not from the local area. Comes on the show quite a few times, man. But I got him coming on, and he's got a special guest that happens to be in town for tonight, headed on their way to Daytona. But, we're going to get him up on the show. We're going to see what goes on, ask some questions, man, have a good little time. But without further ado, we're going to get Zach Case and Jeffrey Earnhardt up here on the show, y'all. Thanks, sirs. Yeah, that's fine. You slide over that, you're good, man.
Fat guy in the middle.
I like it. I like it.
Oh.
All right, welcome back, brother. How you been, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, man. Doing great. So you want to throw that up there for you, man. Jeffrey, thank you for coming on, brother.
Yes,
Greatly appreciated, man. So before we get started, which, like I said, we always keep it lighthearted here on Rubbing and Grubbing, man. How you liking Savannah?
I love this place, man.
Been down a few times, right?
Yeah, I've been down here a couple of times, man. This place is a beautiful place. Obviously, the history here is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a big American history guy. So
Okay. Oh, it fit right in, man.
Pretty cool to come down here and, one of the best jackmen in the world.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the man, the myth, the legend himself, right? I mean, hey, this is a busy man. Look, all of us are busy man, very busy man. I mean, not only does he do that, he partakes in a full time during the week and does it on the weekends, man.
Yeah.
So
Always on the go.
Yeah, man. So what do you got planned up rest of the evening, man? What are we getting into? You headed down to Daytona tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we'll take off, finish out the trip to Daytona in the morning. We try to come down, hang out with this guy on the trip down. So good to break the trip up a little bit, but I don't know. We let Zach be the tour.
Big American history guy. Might have a ghost tour plan.
There you go. There you go. I like it. So Zach, how did you guys come together? How do you know Jeffrey and everything?
Man, God, what year was that? A 4-car.
I was trying to figure it out. 2014.
2014, yeah, with Johnny Davis.
Okay.
When he was running the 4-car, I was working with Hendrick Development over there, and we ended up hitting his race car for the full season that year.
Okay.
That's pretty much how it started. And then, as we've talked about in here a few times, a buddy of mine, rear changer Eric Jones, he'd come to the house and he's like, "Hey, we want you to change next year." I'm like, "All right, well, who's driving?" He said, "Jeffrey." I said, "Say no more."
So
that was a large part of it. Now I'm drug into it another season.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do one more next year.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It's funny how that works, man. I mean, even from a fan's perspective, like once it's in your blood and you love it, man. You're like, oh, I'm all for it.
I tell you what, I mean, just being busy and building houses during the week, it's kind of my getaway. Honestly, like a lot of people, you get young guys that stress out over it and all that. Man, I get out there and I'm like, man, this is my laid back job.
Yeah. This is gravy train. Yeah, definitely, man. So Jeffrey, you're pulling 26 car Sam Hunt Racing this year?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, it's man, Sam. you look at what he's been able to do in a very short amount of time as a team owner, and it's really impressive. And to be able to get the backing from Toyota is huge for any small team.
Oh yeah.
It's almost impossible to get because Toyota, wants to make sure their programs are ran,
right.
the right way. And Sam's been able to do that. And, Toyota's always been so great to me. Can't say enough about the support they've given me and the love that everyone at Sam Hunt gives me and the product that they put on the track. It's like every time I get in the car, I know we got a chance. And sometimes we try new things, and it don't always work out the way we want it to, but that's part of growing as a small team. So.
That's it. Well, and part of racing in general, right, man? We saw that a couple weeks ago. With, they frowned upon that, man. So, I think the invisible line Denny talked about is kind of found now, right? It's in a box. But, yeah, man, so, just a little history on you, man. How, what age did you know, like, hey, this is what I want to do? This is what I want to be, man.
Actually, I was 12 years old, and a local dirt track where my stepmom's from, with Raceway, they started a series where 12 to 18 could race.
Okay.
And kind of something for kids to get into, and I was like, man, I'm 12 years old. I want to race.
Right.
My dad's like, nope, you ain't doing it. And I begged my dad for 2 years. Finally, he said, you gotta find sponsors in a car, and I'll let you race.
Okay.
And we had some family friends that had businesses in the area right there in Whitfield and Rotor Tree, Virginia, and went to one. Mark Farhan and Suzuki. Tam Toppin's the owner. He had a car, and he's like, all right, I got a car. He's like, you find someone to help finance it, and we'll go racing. And so another good friend, Jim Hilton, he owned Cedar Springs Fish Farm, stocked and raised trout.
Okay.
And went to him. He sponsored some dirt cars up there. And I was like, hey, I got a car. I just need someone to help with money. And he's like, heck yeah, let's go racing. And
I like it,
went
man.
back to my dad. I was like, hey, I got a car and sponsored. He's like, well, I guess you were going to race.
Signed off on it and and away we went, man. I like it, brother. So, like I said, I watched it this past weekend in Michigan. Had a really good run going there, man. I mean, we were pulling for it. Zach kind of hit me up and, gave me a little heads up and asked, if it was cool. And of course, you're more than welcome on Rubbing and Grubbing anytime. This man, he's part of the family. Anybody, anytime. I love the inside
stories too.
Oh, yeah.
How long you need?
Look, I'm sure, man. I'm positive. It's kind of like, you came up to Atlanta where we were at this past year and hung out for a minute, and I sat there and go, man, you stay long enough, man. We're going to start talking about some things. So, getting into it, man, it's kind of like one of those deals when you look at today's NASCAR, and obviously you kind of grew up around the sport and hearing the ins and outs of it and being around it. You watch what we've grown into, and I want to know, like, what are your thoughts of, like, moving forward? Do you think we're going to continue to, kind of get in this way where we have to define our outlayers of the rule book and how we go about things? And I think the next gen car really kind of made it equal when you look at coming into the Cup Series compared to, let's say, 95, 98. You want to come into the Cup Series, I mean, you had to have big bucks and be on your stuff and pump it in to really produce that product that was good. Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, after that, it kind of, it died off in a way. It became like that money of how much are we going to pump in engineers and what's in the shop and the bright minds. Now I think it's kind of more, it's still that way. I mean, obviously we see that, but I think it's kind of leveled it out. As you mentioned, what Sam Hunt's been able to do, and if you take it back and look at a track house that first year coming out, I mean, that's almost unheard of in the Cup Series, first year team and going out and competing the way they did. So I just kind of want to get your forethought on, like, what direction do you feel like the sport is headed as far as, like, are we going to continue to kind of go in for the newer generation of fans, which I know we have to, or are we going to kind of go back and rewind the clock a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than anything else. It's constantly evolving. You're always trying to capture that new demographic or that new fan base, because we all get old, we all end up passing away. So you got to keep replenishing that pool of a fan base. And, the only way you do that is to keep evolving with the world. The world changes daily, and NASCAR's got to try and keep up and do the same. So I don't think that's going to change. I think competition's only going to get tougher. Whether it's on the car side, the pit crew guys side, the engineer side at the shop, that's constantly going to continue to develop and grow and get more competitive, which turns into more dollars. So, you see our sport, it keeps growing, and dollar signs keep getting higher.
They do.
It costs more to go race, and You know, it's difficult. It's hard for small teams to stay in the business. It's hard for big teams to maintain and stay in the business. So I think as a sport, it's going to continue to evolve into being more competitive, more engineering, targeting that different fan base to keep our fan pool alive, and you know, like everything in the world, it's difficult today. You know, it's for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, things are tough, and you know, hopefully, you know, we can get, you know, things back on track and economy rolling, and you know, businesses pumping and NASCAR pumping. You know, that's what,
I think people really don't understand how much what's going on economically in the world in these big Fortune 500s, and a lot of the sponsorship that's in and out of NASCAR, Cup Series, Xfinity trucks. It depends a lot on that economy, man. I mean, this is, you know, a big purse that they put out there, one, the advertisement, and two, sponsorship and backing, and what we're putting up every year. And, man, when that economy gets tight and things start buckling down, man, it's like they start going, oh, yeah, well, we can cut this here and cut that there. I mean, we've seen it numerous times, man. So, yeah, it's one of those things to me, I don't know, like we talked earlier, I've been going to Atlanta in '92. I really got into it, my uncles and my dad, and, you know, I really got into it, and I've watched it since then religiously. It's like anybody that knows me, man, Sunday is like I'm at work, it's on TV, and there might be one other person that's even somewhat interested. I don't care. I'm shutting it down. Hey, we're on TV. I'm watching when I can. You know, I get off. I put it on the radio. I listen to it. You know, it's just kind of like you said. I think it's a fine mix and a balance, but I've always understood, man, of just what it brought to me as a kid, right? Like when I was growing up, you go to Atlanta, it's one of the only sports, man, that I'll ever talk about that, you know, you go and you find your driver, you idolize this guy. It's like, oh, man, this is my sports hero. And you can literally go down and see that guy and get that autograph and take a picture with him and be personable and relate, compared to like that Michael Jordan, or compared to like the LeBron. It's kind of like, you know, hurry up, I got stuff to do, like wham, bam, thank you. Man, you got to be really important or special to find that moment to get that. And that's something that I've always loved NASCAR, and I really hope we never lose that. You know, like to see these little kids 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, see somebody they look up to and see on the TV every Sunday or Saturday or Friday, and get to go and, you know, ask questions, take a picture with you. I think it's what keeps that ball rolling. I mean, and you know better than anybody, racing is not an inexpensive sport. It is a very expensive sport to compete and be good at. When you got guys out here, again, Will Hare, pumping money and trying to find sponsorship, and these smaller guys that don't come from that money doing a passion that they love, it's tough, and it's only getting tougher in the economy, man. So glad to see it. I hope we continue to see it, man.
Well, that's what separates him too from a lot of guys. I mean, not saying a lot of guys, but like just being personable. I mean, I know, like being like having a Cooper around last year, man. It's Uncle Jeff, man. You know, I mean, it's just real good with kids. I've never seen him like turn down anything. I mean, it's always out of his way to go, you know, handle what, you know, requests or, you know, for autographs, pictures, things like that. So, I mean, it's your guys that separate themselves that really, you know,
definitely, man. And I mean, you know, you take kids that are, like I said, again, in their, you know, younger years and, you know, don't really love racing, and hey, next thing you know, they might have a memory from meeting you here or there and go, hey, that kind of drove me to become a race car driver and become a really good race car driver, you know. So
well, I think Cooper School recently, I don't know if you saw that
oh yeah, man, that was awesome too.
Like, you know, again, Savannah's not a big market because Atlanta's the nearest racetrack.
Right.
Daytona.
Right.
But like a lot of those kids don't know anything. I mean, they're 3-4 years old, but still, I mean, just that beginning impact. Cooper's birthday was 2 weeks ago, and one of the parents came up to me and they're like, you know, my son still talks about
seeing that,
stuff,
right?
The race cars
man.
and the
I mean, it's like I said, we all have those stories, and what's funny with me, man, is like I was a wild child when I was a small kid. Okay, I wasn't bad. I was wild. I was wide open. I got into everything.
You and Cooper just like
man. I mean, I'm climbing. Man, let me tell you, my mom carried around a wooden spoon. I got a tattoo from my mom on Mother's Day, okay? It's a classic heart with a wooden spoon through it, okay? You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, I remember going there and like with my uncles and with my dad and like a family thing. And at one point, we've talked about this, at one point it was like my grandma and my aunt and my uncle and my mom, my dad, it's like as neck as it sounds, but I mean, it was a family reunion at Atlanta Motor Speedway on the infield every year, you know? But I mean, it was great. It's like those family memories that come up, and then being a kid and like that first race I went to, my uncle was like, hey, pull for this guy, you know, so I did from day one. It ended up being Jeff Gordon, you know, that was my guy. So, but then being able to go down to the pit area back in the 90s and mid 90s and even later 90s, man, it was just open, like motorhome coaches and garage area, and there was just nothing. you know, you had 2 entrances into that garage, and you'd sit there and wait by the gate, and guys would come out, and you sign autographs, and forever. I mean, it took me forever to get a lot of them. You know, they kind of slide in the back door or run, and you know, I think a lot of people don't know obligations, you know, that you have inside or outside, especially those bigger name guys. Like, hey, as soon as it's over, I know from
a crew standpoint, that's improved a ton.
I
know from a driver standpoint, he might be able to answer a lot better. But I mean, as far as the access goes, we're like Richmond or a couple places or Talladega where the garage basically butts up to the walkway where fans can walk.
Right,
through.
right.
So NASCAR's doing a good job with trying to bring in the fans a little bit closer to allow that access. Daytona, all them years, they've had that glass right there with the little
you can watch
and all that.
Yeah, so. I mean, I remember just being a kid, like I said, 6, 7, 8 years old, man. And it was like after practice and before qualifying and all this time, it was like wham, bam. Of course, we're talking mid-90s, you know, I'm 8, 9, 10 years old, and it was like, not the world we're in today, but my parents are like, oh, here's the program. You want to go? You know the garage. You know what I mean? You know where you're going. It's like, I'm gone for a couple hours before cell phone, wham, bam. So it's awesome. But I appreciate you coming on, man. I got a few little knick-knack life questions for you before we get out of here, man. All right, college football. Who are we pulling for, brother? Who are we pulling for?
It's like I'm going to get scalded on this one. Yeah.
Who are we going for?
Roll Tide.
We're going to act like Lawrence is going to edit that out. That didn't even happen. That's okay. I got some good friends that say it too, man. I look forward to September 28th. All right, I look forward to that, man, for sure.
I'll be honest, man. Like I grew up, NASCAR was the only thing I watched. I didn't watch football. I didn't watch any of that. And my buddy was like, dude, sit down and watch this game with me. And so I sat down and watched the college football game, and it was Alabama against somebody. And they had Trent Richardson at the time.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I was like, you made me watch football. I got pulled for someone. This dude's a stud. Like, I'm going to pull for these guys. I didn't know what bandwagon I was jumping on, but I jumped on a good one.
You jumped on a damn good one, man.
Larry Mack's smiling somewher a little bit.
Yeah. I'm
sure
sure he is, man. They're loving that, man. Yeah, hey, look, I'll keep my comments in my own. September 28th, man. I got my bets out there. I got my places, man. It's a go dog. It's a Roll Tide for you, but a go dogs for me. All right, man. Least favorite track and favorite track to go to on your schedule throughout your racing history, man. Like, what's one you hate and what's one you love?
Oh man, where have we had the worst luck?
I was waiting for that question. If we can go best first, I'd guess Bristol.
Bristol, absolutely. Yeah,
Bristol. We were talking earlier. We were running 4th last year, and he had a hub burn up or whatever there, you know. And it was late in the race too.
Yeah, it was like, I think
100 to go or something like that. Yeah, we had
something to go.
We had a money stop. We had a good month. Like, it was like,
put him out
this
there.
This is it. Like, we came to play, son, and ended up burning the left rear hub, and that was a bummer there. And he's always run good the super speedways. We just got running the fence at Daytona, and I mean, I don't remember the other stuff. It all kind of come together after it all started running together. After a while, so bad luck we had, but man,
I don't know. I'm gonna say Michigan because I wasn't happy with the package.
Least favorite,
I blew a right front there in a cup car, and that hurt pretty good.
I bet.
I'm gonna say Michigan. I don't know.
Michigan least favorite.
Michigan with an open motor.
Yeah.
Tire wear, that place
Sonoma hurt last year too.
Sonoma.
There was a lot of frustration.
Well, that's rough, man. I mean, I can only imagine, man. Look, you know, I can only imagine turning left and doing this and short track and mile and a half intermediate super speedway, and then here we are, like elevation change and brake clutch this. I mean, that's a lot, man. I can only imagine, man. So, all right, favorite driver in the Cup Series right now, man? A buddy of yours, somebody that you're like, hey, you pull for on Sundays. I mean, I know it's competitive, but you're like, all right, there's one guy out there that I'm like, this is the guy. Like,
he's noodling or hunting on Sundays.
Oh, I know that, man. That's how I see all the pictures on social, man. Which we're gonna get to the next question, which entertains that, man.
Like I like Truex. Truex has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Just a hard racer, loves the sport,
good
big
staple.
outdoorsman. Drives the Bass Pro car. They take a lot of my money.
Adult man, Toys R Us for sure, man.
I don't know. I'd say probably Truex.
Okay, I like it, man. So this is what I've been meaning to ask. All right, I grew up like big outdoorsman in the area here. Intercoastal, offshore. You're doing this. You're freshwater fishing too. You hunt a little bit. I mean, hunting down here. It is what it is. All right, Georgia turkey hunting is good. Used to be good. All right, deer hunting's kind of like there's a lot of better places we can go. Okay, Texas. Midwest, Kansas, Illinois. There's a lot of places, right? All right, so I've never noodled. That's, dude, not my forte. I've seen some of the snapping turtles that come out of places, brother. I'm not reaching down there. All right, so One, I want to know two things. I want to know how does it feel when they lock on. All right, what's that feel like when a good size one locks on? And two, what's the strangest thing you ever pulled out, reaching in there noodling, man?
So, like as far as them biting you, like it varies. So you got your blue cats, and you got your flatheads.
Right.
You got channels too, but most of the fish we catch are blues.
Yeah, blues and
flatheads.
and flats.
Blues, man, they're the pit bulls of the lake.
Okay.
They bite so hard, you question why you're doing it.
Right.
I mean, it's like I said, it makes you not want to go back in there.
Right, man.
They, I mean, I tell everyone it's like if you were to lay your hand on this table and hit it with a hammer.
That's what it feels like. Okay.
And when they bite, they hold on. So you better hope you got them and you can pull them out before you run out of air.
Right.
Flatheads, they
big hosses.
They got big old wide mouths. They don't bite nowhere near as hard.
Okay.
But their mouths are so big. I've had one swallow me up with my elbow. So. They don't, like I said, they don't bite as hard. They strike almost like a snake. They hit you and then they're trying to back up.
Okay.
So, my favorite fish catch, a flathead that's sitting on eggs, because he's super aggressive. He's probably gonna swallow you up to here, and he's gonna wear you out every time you stick your hand in the hole. Blue cats are fun because you know it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. You're gonna feel the sting a little bit.
But no, I mean, they each have their own characteristics. Like I said, blues bite hard. Flatheads can be super aggressive and swallow your whole arm.
I like it, man.
One of these days, I'm gonna get time to go.
Man.
I was talking to buddy Jimmy Potts.
If you go, I'll go. At some point in time, if I'm invited, I'll come up there. I'll do it.
I've heard nothing about it. Like I didn't know what the seasons were and all that. And I had talked to our buddy Jimmy Potts, and I was gonna talk to him too about it. I wanted to go up like during Charlotte weekend and all that, but I didn't realize with the seasons and how they mate and all that,
Right.
So next year, I'm definitely going to have to pencil in a weekend to go up early.
Go there and do it.
Charlotte weekend, I ran the truck race, and then we camped out on the lake the next 2 days. Well, I didn't camp out the first night. I had to go back home, but Jim and all them, they camped out on the lake for 2 nights in a row. And that first day we caught our biggest fish we've ever caught. It was 61 pounds.
Oh, damn.
Big old flathead.
Yeah.
Which is odd to catch a big fish that early. But that early in the season, like Charlotte, Memorial Day weekend, we're
into May there,
catching blues and you're starting to find flatheads. But no, you definitely
I'm in.
I better put on some weight, brother. All I know, man. But the strangest thing out the hole. What's the strangest thing you ever pulled out the hole, catfish hole, man?
Man, we so the way we do it, we check the hole with a cane pole before.
Okay.
Gotta play it safe.
Hey, you got a career. I get it. You got a career. Yeah.
So we check with a cane pole. I've pulled little water turtles out. I mean. That's really about it.
That's always been my biggest fear, man, because I've always been one of them guys like, oh, this is what you do. I'm just going to go in there, And,
see, that's like me in the ocean, though. There's certain places I'll swim in the ocean. If I can't see, I can't see, so I'm going to have to get over that fear, but I'm definitely in. I've heard a lot about it. I mean, I don't want to hook any blues, I'll be honest with you, after hearing all that. But
I like it, man. And I'm going to let you guys get out of here. One more question before we get out of here. What'd you guys go with beer-wise tonight?
Tropicalia,
my man. Yeah, Is that what you roll with too, Jeffrey?
Yes,
I like it, man. Go Dog. That's a dog's beer right there, man. You already got it pumping in your veins right there, brother. No, don't do that. Don't waste it, man. Before you get out of here, shirts, as always, man. Couple of them for you, brother. Greatly appreciated. As always, man. Jeffrey, thank you for coming out, spending some time with us, man. Glad you love the home city, man. Zach,
yes,
you know I love
Absolutely.
you. Appreciate you, man. Always, man. You guys are more than welcome. And, hey, like I said, you come down, got a few more days off season, you get with him, give me a call, man. We'll go out and have some fun. Yeah, we'll go have some fun.
Absolutely, man.
Definitely, man. Jeffrey, again, thank you, brother. Greatly appreciated, Zach. I love you, brother. We'll see you in Atlanta, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
All right, y'all. Hey, cool piece right there, like I always say, man. Zach Case, the man, the myth, the legend. The pit crew member for Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Great dude. Big appreciation to Jeffrey coming out, taking some time to come see us, man. That was a cool deal, man. So, hey, like I say, make sure you follow Sam Hunt racing that 26 there, man. Doing some big things. I'm telling you, had a good run at Michigan going, man. Just last restart got him there, so keep an eye out, man. But getting back into it, man, we are getting into that Michigan recap, baby. And I tell you what, that was a great show to be seen there. Put on a really good product at Michigan. One of my favorite tracks to watch. Just wide open, big, multi-groove. You know, you kind of got different strategies going on. Tire wear goes on. It's an amazing, amazing race there. You know, everything you kind of want to see, man. I mean, you had the different strategies. You had the comers and goers and fast. I mean, so I loved it, man. Again, like I said, Tyler Reddick came home victorious there. Found a way to put that 45 Toyota team, 2311 team in victory lane. I tell you what, man, I said it earlier, Tyler Reddick is heating up, man. Now, it reminds me of Chase Elliott a few years ago when he's heating up, you know, maybe not the win category, but heating up and bam, hit the playoffs to kind of go cold. We'll see if he can maintain it. We're right around the corner. We got 2 races, Daytona and then turn around and go to Darlington, man. And we're in Atlanta for that playoff race, man. So going to be an awesome deal there. But I tell you what, man, double overtime, managed to battle it off, hit the restarts there and hold off William Byron. So good, congrats. Like I said, I like Tyler Reddick. I like to see him do good. I think he's paid his dues, man. He's coming into his own. That is going to be a really good future race car driver right there in the Cup Series in Tyler Reddick, man. So keep an eye out. So, a few big names there, man. Had a rough day for sure. Denny Hamlin spun right there at stage 1, you know, kind of going for the lead there, spun out. Came back, good 8th place finish, top 10. You know, made his dues there, which was awesome. So, you know, good rebound. Again, that's kind of what Denny Hamlin does. Kind of takes the bad days, make them good. It's what makes a good one great. Good shot there. Again, Larson, I think, was the biggest news, man. Spun out there again, kind of got a little loose. Took out some really good race cars there. Bubba had a good day going. You know, top 5, top 6, top 4 race car all day. Kind of got caught up in that. You know, you had Christopher Bell. You had, you know, numerous cars that were good there that kind of got caught up in that mayhem. But it happens, you know, even one of the best ones to do it in the sport, you know, get caught off guard, man. You lose a race car and stuff like that happens. So, you know, again, kind of feel bad for him, but it happened. He's got 4 wins, man. Larson's sitting all right. Big news, man. Corey LaJoie, I tell you what, that was a hell of a ride he took there. And if you ever really go and look at Michigan, me and Zach Case were talking about this earlier. If you ever go and look at Michigan, man, it's really a long backstretch there. And to watch them, you know, just kind of get loose and spin into that way and like a piece of paper, man. I mean, flat and just lift up and boom, roof and slide it until he hits that grass. And he even talked about it on his podcast. So, Violent Rag, glad to see him walk away. Glad to see he's okay there for sure. But I can guarantee you NASCAR is taking a look at that and how that happened, headwind or not. I think that's kind of unacceptable. And we talked about it. Roof flaps came out, did everything it should have done. Just didn't sit the way it should have sat. So, hate that for him, but glad he's okay, man. So, all in all, again, pretty good race there in Michigan. Like I said, kind of everything you want in that, I guess you call intermediate track, fastest intermediate track. I mean, I don't think you really call it a super speedway, or if you do, it's a different, very unique super speedway, similar to Atlanta in a way, totally different. But at the end of the day, really good product put on there through the drivers and the teams, man. They brought good race cars, really good racing there. Had the plot twist, had a little bit of drama in itself. I think that's kind of everything you look for, man. So really good race there, and excited moving forward and headed into Daytona, man. So getting into that Daytona preview, man, I tell you what, it is under the lights. Daytona Saturday night, baby, 7:30 coming up. It is pressure's on. We got 2 races to go. We're used to this being the tell all, win and you're in, or you know, try to fight your way into the bubble. But we don't have to worry about this year. I feel like we got a driver's chance at Darlington. We actually have teams get to set up and bring a car and play a strategy. Other than kind of that super speedway racing that we're used to where you line up and you go and you know, somebody else's fate might cost you your own. I love it, seeing it at Darlington. I think that something NASCAR should look back into, of keeping a race like a Darlington or somewhere being that cutoff race instead of a Daytona. But we'll see. Love it. This dictates a lot, man. That playoff battle is tight. It is very close between the regular season champion and the cutoff for that bubble. It is very, very close. So make sure, again, you're tuning in Saturday night. I would say come out to Coaches, but they got concert coming up, and it's going to be hard-pressed to find NASCAR outside. You might find it inside, man. Getting into the top 5, man, I tell you what, it's not my cup of tea, but I got to take him. Great track record at Atlanta, at Daytona. I'll take Denny Hamlin in the 11 first this weekend. Again, I think he's been close over the last few weeks. They find a way. He's good at managing the car, managing the track, managing the traffic. I'll take Denny Hamlin. 2 for me, William Byron, Daytona 500 winner earlier in the year, man. 24 and 24, baby. Maybe it's a clean sweep of Daytona, so I'll take Byron second. 3 for me, young Ryan Blaney. Again, I think a guy that runs very good at restrictor plate races. Talladega, maybe a little more success, but again, finds himself in good positions at Daytona, year in and year out, whether he wins or he gets to finish or not. Competitive car. 4 for me, come on, baby. Chase the Bulldog Elliott. The man, the myth, the legend's always going to be there. He's coming. He's coming. It's coming for it, man, so you better watch out for him. 5 for me, Joey Logano. Come on, sliced bread. Always on a restrictor plate. I think he's one of the best out there doing it. Ford. Lawrence is cussing. I'll throw a damn dollar in there. I don't give a damn. At the end of the day, man, some dark horses out there. I think you got to watch out for Bubba for sure. Again, a guy that's been hot, had a good run going there at Michigan, showing speed. Daytona fits him. There's a couple other guys I could put in there, Keselowski and Busher and this and that. But at the end of the day, I think you got to watch out for Ricky Stenhouse. We're coming down. We're winding down. It is time to go out and get it. Again, we know he can win at Daytona, and we'll see what kind of piece he brings, man. So getting ready to get into that money line presented by Redfin Polarized. But before we do, we're going to pause for station identification right here at Coach's Corner Sports Network. Cheers, y'all. It's Wednesday, man. All right, baby. Money line presented by Redfin Polarized. It don't matter if you got money on the line or a wall hanger. Make sure you see it clearly with the best polarized sunglasses on the planet. I tell you what, man, I've had these bad boys for 2 years now, almost 3 years. There ain't a scratch on these lenses, man, and I'm giving them hell. And I got a few pairs of other name brand sunglasses. I got quite a few, man. Some of the best customer service in the industry. Italian frames, Carl's Ice lenses. These things are made for the woods or the water, date night. Doesn't matter what it is. Make sure you are doing it with Redfin Polarized, man. Hit up that website. Go to checkout. Find a style you like. Put in Rubbin' and Grubbin' 15. Save you 15% at checkout, as I always like to say, man. Live life ends up. Redfin Polarized, baby. So amazing opening odds, which they actually changed since I looked at them earlier in the day, okay? Amazing opening odds. Me and Lawrence are getting ready to lock in bets tonight, tomorrow night. As soon as we can lock them in, we're locking them in. I'm done. I'm not waiting. I don't care about no practice. I want the best odds I can get. Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin are right there together at plus 1,000, plus 1,100, man, which is amazing. You're getting back in that field. You got guys like Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney and Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. Big odds, 18, 16, 1,400. You go a little bit even further back than that, man. You got some guys with some way bigger top 5, top 3 value or win value. We're done messing around, man. I'm going in. I've got this race at Daytona and Talladega to really make some big bets and pray for a Hail Mary. We are going in on the Hail Marys this weekend. We are no holds bar. We are going to bet a big majority and go in this week. This is going to be the biggest bet of the season we've made, man. We are going in. We're not sparing it. We're going in, man. Make sure you're following that social media, all that stuff out there. Lawrence does a great job of posting who we're taking there again for those trucks, Xfinity and Cup Series. Make sure you're following and you'll see, man. And let me know if I'm missing something. I'd like to see some tickets you guys got out there. But we're going in this weekend here at Daytona. Saturday night, we're taking some big money bets. So getting ready to get into that hard right turn, but before we do, got to give a big shout out there to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Lamar over there at Lamar's Body Shop. 35 plus years taking care of Savannah's auto collision needs, the best in the business. Doesn't matter what it is, full service auto collision repair shop. You want an estimate, drop it off, hang out, come to Coach's, get some lunch. Lamar's team, they cut no corners, man. They're keeping it real with you. Paint job, replacing some fenders, some bumpers, whatever it may be, man. Make sure you go see Lamar and his team. 2301 Skidaway Road. Hop, skip, and a jump away from Coach's. Amazing deal up there. As I always say, why settle for par? Go see Lamar. Hey, man, getting into that hard right turn, it's been a hot commodity, man. NASCAR and its choice of cautions, which at Michigan, yeah, they kind of dropped the ball a little bit, if you ask me, man. I didn't complain. It is what it is, right? But me and Lawrence sat up here on Monday. I came up. I had the day off. We watched the race at 11. We were sitting there. You know, you had Logano and you had, Austin Cindric, and you had a few other guys all have some issues getting in there right in the mix, right? All had these guys having issues. No caution. Debris going everywhere until Logano had the tire carcass come out on the track. No caution. All right. Now we roll a little bit later on in that race, and we see, Martin Truex Jr. get up in the wall, hit it pretty good, kept going, but hit it pretty good, caution fall. Now, I think with the green, white, checker restarts is something that we kind of came into. If you see a race end under caution, or be able to end under caution, I think NASCAR would have let that ride. I think they would have let Martin Truex Jr. ride it out, keep the momentum going, whatever it is, finish where you're going to finish. If we were old school, true NASCAR, caution comes out, into the race, wham, bam, whoever's in the lead wins it. But we are in the overtime, the green, white, checkered, and the, win if winning you're in type stuff. I think it does great for the sport. I think it makes headlines. I think that drivers hate it, which I can understandably see why. I think drivers hate it. We saw Richmond last week, what a late caution caused, which was a legit caution. What they were racing over arguing, I had no idea. But was a legit caution. But when it's not, in my eyes or a fan's eyes, when it's not legit, and it falls in the way NASCAR lets it fall, we let this go earlier in the race, but because we're to the end and we need the drama, we're going to throw this. I think they really need to do a little bit better job of picking and choosing when they do. Again, it's their sandbox. It's been this way forever. It is NASCAR sandbox, baby. If you don't like the rules they play by, you don't have to race. You don't have to run it, right? As long as we're consistent, kind of like balls and strikes in baseball. As long as we're consistent and this is the way we're going to do it, I'm all down for it. Now, I think they dropped it a little bit this past week at Michigan, but at the end of the day, we're already prolonged. We're already on Monday. I get it from a business perspective, but it's really all about what's right and what's wrong. And I think that after this year, we revamp the rule book. We come up with a few odds and ends that are in throughout that rule book. A lot of things, weather being an issue, what the fine line is of what we're going to tolerate not being an issue. I think once we get this all pegged out and figured out, we're going to have a better sport. We're learning these guidelines right now as we go. As we're moving forward, we're building as a sport, we're building technologically, but we're also building rules. So let's figure it out, let's get it done, let's make it happen, man. But that'll do it for the hard right turn. We are done with the rubbing, we are on to the grubbing. I have no idea what I have up here tonight. I didn't even pick or choose tonight. But whatever it may be, I'm hungry. I'm definitely going to eat something. What we got right here, Lawrence?
Earnhardt burger.
Oh.
With venison chili.
Oh, okay. Damn, they threw it down, man. They went the Earnhardt burger for the special guest tonight. Venison chili. We got bacon, onion rings, barbecue sauce, lettuce, tomato, onion pickle. I'm about to tear this up when I get out of here. I'm getting ready to go see about gambling some money in here and see if I can, win a little charity money. But, hey, man, again, great Coach's Food. If you haven't yet, come out, check it out. Coach's Corner, hop, skip, and a jump right here, Thunderbolt, Georgia, center of the universe, baby. Rubbing and grubbing. I'm out of here, man. Stay tuned. Coach Carl DeMasi, Sports Report, keeping you up to date. The hottest news in the local area. Got to give a big shout out to Will Heron family, always up here supporting us, supporting, Will Heron Racing. Go out. If you're a business in Savannah looking for a young driver to support, hey, throw a couple thousand Will's way, man. Get him up to that next move. That's what we talking about. You can find him on Facebook. You can find Coach out there on YouTube too, which I got to find a way to get into the high schools, man, because I need some followers, man. Y'all need to come subscribe, get out there and get in some racing, man. But at the end of the day, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Another episode of Rubbing and Grubbing. Big shout out to Zach Case and Jeffrey Earnhardt over there at Sam Hunt Racing. Really appreciate you guys coming on, man. Family, welcome as always. And you come to Savannah, we'll show you a good time next time, brother. Love you guys. Stay safe out there, y'all. Till next Wednesday, right here, 6 o'clock. Coaches, Rubbing and Grubbing. Love y'all, man.